What's going on, everybody? My name is Heir. Welcome to the channel.
Excellent.
In today's video, guys, we are going to talk about NBA 2k22 and whether or not the game is dead. But before we get to that, I just want to make sure that if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please be sure to do that. Also, make sure that you hit the like button on the video so that way we get boosted in the algorithm. And if you want to see more content like this about me talking about the game and the different concepts, let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, so to really delve deep into this concept, we really need to talk about some core things because it matters based off of your vantage point. Based off of your vantage point, it's going to determine whether or not you think the game is dead. If you're a sweat or an ISO guy or somebody that just loves the cheese, you're going to have one perspective. If you're a casual player, you're going to have another perspective. If you're a sim head, you're going to have a completely different perspective. And if you're somebody like myself who really just enjoys basketball, but instead of going out and playing on a real court nowadays, I would rather just play the game. If you're a person like me, then you're going to have a completely different understanding of the game. So I'm going to be addressing it from my vantage point, and you can let me know down below in the comment section what you feel about my thoughts on this. In my opinion, the number one reason why people are saying that the game is dead is because NBA 2K is a video game that is based on basketball. It's based on the sport of basketball. It's based on the NBA, okay? If you're someone who creates content around the game, you're going to have a different feeling about this game because it is a video game and you want more video game aspects in order to be able to give you certain things to talk about, certain things to do, right? NBA 2K has changed drastically over the years. They've given us a lot of new content to deal with, but at the core of everything, this is a video game that's based off of basketball. And basketball is exciting. No one goes out and plays basketball every single day and says, oh, I'm bored of basketball. If you love hoops, you love hoops. You don't care how it's packaged. If you outside playing on a dirt court or if you outside playing, in Venice Beach, it doesn't matter. None of that means anything. You just love basketball. You want to go out there and compete. You want to go out there and hoop. You want to, play the game and score a bunch of points or play lockdown defense and win the game with a game winner. That's why you play. You don't play it because you want new things to happen within the context of the game. You play it because you love the game. And if you watch the NBA, you watch the NBA because you want to see top tier basketball players compete. You want to see the storylines unfold throughout the course of the season. You want to see who's going to the NBA finals. And the people with the most compelling storylines, the people with the best players, those are the people that you want to see in the NBA finals. So, because it's a video game based off of basketball, if you're not of the mindset of truly just loving what basketball is and what it provides as a game, then you're going to have a completely different opinion on whether or not the game is dead. I don't think that the game is dead, but people that are more in it for the video game aspect or they're looking for something fresh and something new, they're going to look at it completely different. The NBA is the same every single season, just in case people didn't know. Yes, they changed the rules here and there, whatever it is, but it's still the same thing. James Harden is an NBA player. He runs up and down the floor. He scores points. He plays defense. Why do people come to the arenas? Why do people come to watch those games? Because of how good of a player he is. It's just what it is. NBA 2K doesn't have that, though. And the reason why we don't have that is because majority of what we consider the best players in the game, the high win percentage people, no one actually truly respects their skill level. People just don't. And it's because there's so much cheese in the game. It's not because, oh, well, I can play the game and I can learn to get better at the game. The only way you get better at this game in the macro sense is to be a person that plays this game in order to be able to do cheesy stuff that nobody can stop. So the game becomes my best exploit versus your best exploit. That is the reason why we can't get the same kind of energy around people wanting to watch certain people play the game or whatever it is. It's not that your 90 win percentage is like something to scoff at, but it is if no one cares about your skill because your skill is literally doing something that nobody can stop. In the NBA, people can try to stop James Harden. They're not good enough to stop him on defense. So that's what brings about the excitement. When the game is 138 to 135 and James Harden got the ball and it's only 4 seconds left and he shoots a three over 3 defenders, yeah, that's exciting. because you know that his time in the gym, his work ethic, his skill, and how great he is at the game of basketball has put him in a position where when the game is on the line, he's able to hit that shot. And you got entire arenas of people jumping up and down because this was so amazing. You can't get that in 2K. You can't get that in 2K because there's too much manipulation of the system. There's too much manipulation. Excuse me. It's too much manipulation of the win percentages. That's why you're not going to get that kind of thing in an NBA 2K. It's just not going to happen. So until we accept that about the game, until we accept that this is a community that thrives off of things like this, then it's not going to go anywhere. They can add in Chips Ahoy. They can add in Ruffles. They can add in a ginger beer game mode. It doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. Casuals don't want to get on the game. The game is not exciting when casual people get on the game and they have no chance of beating skilled players. And it's not because that they're not good. It's because the exploits in the game, the top tier players are using the exploits in the game. It's not fun. So, of course, you're going to feel like the game is dead. Basketball is basketball. If I was still playing basketball on a day-to-day basis, which I don't, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. If I was still playing basketball on a day-to-day basis, I would just be out there playing. I wasn't playing for money. I was just playing because I love the game. It's fun to me. It's the same thing with NBA 2K. It's basketball at the end of the day. It's basketball. You got two teams, one ball, okay? You play offense, you play defense. You try to win the game. That's it. That's what it is. The second reason why people are saying that the game is dead is because there's two elements to actually being good at this game. There's the video game portion of it, and then there's the basketball portion of it. And I've already discussed that a little bit in point number one. But because there's two different elements to it, right? It's weird because at one point in time, 2K used to be a simulation basketball video game. It ain't that anymore, okay? We're not going back to those days. You can kiss those days goodbye. This is a video game based off of basketball. NBA 2K has had to become that because they have to compete with the likes of a Fortnite and Call of Duty and all these different games. They're no longer going to be able to sit by and just get away with being a basketball simulation because it's a video game as well. So you got to accept both parts of that. And unless you accept both parts of that, guys, yes, the game is going to feel like it's dead. Unless you accept that this is also a video game, the game is going to feel like it's dead. Because once you get finished getting all your level awards and season awards and different things like that, right? If you were just grinding specifically for those things, once you get them all, what's the point of playing the game? Because from level 1 to level 40 for the entire season, all you did with your 5'9" or 5'10" player was left right behind the screen to get to level 40. Of course, you're bored. Of course, I don't blame you. But is that on the fault of the game, or is that on the person that spent the VC to be able to make that player and just do that all game, whether it be in the park or the rec or the ante up, it doesn't matter. You got to really seriously ask yourself that question. When you make a player on this game and you make the player that you want to make as opposed to the meta player in order to try to be able to flex a win percentage that no one's going to give a shit about in 12 months, that's when the game really starts to get interested. That's when you can learn, like, start picking things up from game to game and actually increase your skill. And the skill gap has actually been depleted since they patched steals and buffed unpluckable. But we'll get to that in a little bit. The number 3 point is that everybody that plays this game wants to win at this game. Everybody that plays this game thinks that they're good at this game. And that also, unfortunately, is not true. Even myself, I've been playing 2K for years, guys. The first one I ever played was... The very first one I ever played probably was 2K6. Nope, 2K4. That was the first one that I ever played. But, you know, at that time, NBA Live was so hot, nobody wanted to play 2K. And then I jumped back in around 2K6 because I believe they had Shaq on the front cover or whatever it is, and Dwayne Wade was on the cover of NBA Live, right? But even then, I really wasn't playing a game like that. I was playing all these other different games like Grand Theft Auto. I was playing games like Metal Gear Solid, Zone of the Enders. Those were the games that I was playing. And then you fast forward to NBA 2K10 with Kobe on the front cover, who was my favorite basketball player ever. Kobe was on the cover of that game, and they put my player in the game. They put that mode in the game where you could literally hit a button and go into a random park, a lobby with a bunch of different people, and you would just play 5v5 up and down the court. And they had a bunch of different locations. Then from that, they ended up coming up with literally the second greatest 2K of all time, NBA 2K11, because NBA 2K22, before the patches, season 1, in my opinion, is the greatest 2K that has ever come out on next gen. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I don't care how nobody feels about it. That's how I feel. Before they started putting the patches in the game, this game was as close to perfect as it humanly possibly could be. It's just how I feel. That's my opinion on it. But NBA 2K11 came out, and it was my player, but then there was 2 different types of areas you could go to with your my player. You had the crew mode, and then outside of the crew mode, you also had the 5v5. So you would load into this one park, you would wear black and white jerseys, and you would just play 5v5. And that game was special. It's one of the best games that I've ever played in my entire life. Even with all the glitches, people making cyber faces and 7-foot characters and dunking the ball and literally crashing your Xbox 360. That was one of the better 2Ks that I've ever played in my entire life. But even back then, even back in 2K10, people want to win at this game. And they're going to do so even if they're not making a single dime off of this game. They're going to do so because it doesn't matter that they're not making money. It's the concept of winning. It makes them feel good. So if they got to cheat in order to be able to get that win, they're going to do it. It's just the facts of how it is. So we had that way back in 2K, I believe it was 2K10, where people were making these like 7-foot 5-point guards. Then you had 2K11 when people started making cyber faces and all these different things. People would literally get players with like 99 overall tendencies and all this other kind of stuff. Then you fast forward all the way up to 2K22. People still want to win at this game, even if it doesn't mean anything to them. That meta, they care more about winning games with meta characters than they do about making a player that's close enough to their favorite player so that way they can win the game, or making a player that's close enough to one of their favorite players. And in essence, it has ruined what we have as a community from a competitive standpoint. We're also too, you got to accept that we're not going back to those days. The days of getting on this game and playing against people and people making a player kind of like their favorite player or whatever it is, and them playing the game and literally cooking you, and everybody's got different moves and there's so much versatility in the game, and you learn something new because somebody this game cooked you with one thing that the other person wasn't doing, right? Those days are gone. We're not getting those back either. Unless we get a wave of people playing this game from day one that are literally playing this game for the concept of making the players that they want to make and not the players that are the meta in order to be able to flex a win percentage, we're never going back to that. So when the game is built like that, when the community is thriving off of that, when the community wants that, then of course you're going to feel like the game is dead. Guys, I'm sure NBA 2K did try to do the best that they could. I want to put a little reminder out there for you guys. In NBA 2K20, that was one of the most fun 2Ks ever, right? 2K20 could also compete for, in my opinion, for maybe top 3 2Ks ever, even though there was a hop step glitch that was just ridiculous. I don't know why that was ever even in the game. And then on top of that, there was the behind the back that you couldn't stop, even though you tried to do it, you couldn't stop it, right? So 2K20 was up there. But the reason why 2K20 was up there, right, is because of how fun it was and how much versatility there was in the game. I had a slash and playmaker in that game, orange and blue pie chart. I could shoot with the best of them. It wasn't because I was using some sort of meta build. It wasn't because I was, taking somebody else's thing. I experimented with the game and I found out what worked for me. And I found out with that build, with that player, which, by the way, NBA 2K20 had the best shot meter that I've ever played in any 2K ever. But in that game, I figured out how to shoot my jump shot. I had Damian Lillard's default jump shot, and I was lights out. You can go back and look it up on my 2K20 videos. I'm out there, literally people are sagging off me, and I'm just busting threes from everywhere. What ended up happening is that because 2K did not address the things that should have been addressed in that game, moving into 2K21, they listened too much to the community and they didn't actually pay attention to what the real core of the problem was in that game. In 2K20, people were complaining that year about perimeter lockdowns, being able to shoot threes from the corner consistently. Oh, he's got this 3-point rating. There's no way he should be hitting consistently. Okay. Now, we got to ask ourselves, why is the perimeter lockdown hitting? And also, too, how many perimeter lockdowns are actually shooting consistently in that space? In NBA 2K20, yes, perimeter lockdowns did hit threes from the corner consistently. They could go 10 for 10 on you and win the game. But at the same time, why is this player able to shoot this shot? They're not shooting these shots contested every single time down the court, hitting it corner three in your face. That's not true. What it is that the lineups and the core issues of the game in terms of ISO, that was the problem with the game. And that's the part of the reason why the game was so broken from that aspect. So you had the lineups usually ran like this. You usually had some sort of big, either a stretch or some sort of glass cleaner or something like that, right? You had a P-lock, and then you had a two-way slashing playmaker. Okay. And the problem with the perimeter lockdown shooting the threes from the corner consistently was not with them shooting the threes. The problem is the two-way slashing playmaker, no matter what you did to try to stop him, you couldn't stop him. I've shown footage on this as well, too. You can check it out on my Twitter and all this other kind of stuff. When a two-way slashing playmaker had the ball and they dribbling, boom, 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 back, left, right, quick stop, right? And they're doing all of this. What ended up happening is even if you predicted where the ball was going to go, you couldn't get the ball. And then when you really started clamping them up, they started hop stepping into the paint, which was something that was a broken mechanic in that game. Even if you were attached to them, they could still hop step around you and contact dunk you. So what would end up happening was, if you didn't have a team of people and all three of you communicated and you understood how to stop that two-way slashing playmaker, you were getting fried every single game. As a casual, you had no chance. And a lot of those core issues were overshadowed by the fact that the community was doing so well from a content creation standpoint with wagers. So that part of it, while it did get said, it also got ignored in terms of what the core issue was. People complain about the perimeter lockdown shooting threes in the corner and going 10 for 10. The perimeter lockdown does not shoot like that if you can actually stop the two-way slashing playmaker. If you stop the two-way slashing playmaker and your teammate stays in the corner waiting on that pass to come over there, the perimeter lockdown does not shoot like that. First of all, he's not getting the ball because he's just sitting in the corner all game. That's number one. But number two, most perimeter lockdowns last year couldn't ISO, and the ones that could ISO, you got to remember, guys, just because one person can do it does not mean everybody can do it. So the P-locks that could ISO, we talking about top tier players here. We talking about dudes that they don't get off the game. They figured this out. And literally the number was so few. And I can tell you the reason why the number was so few, because the majority of the people that played were two-way slashing playmakers. That was the meta build of 2K20. It was not the P-lock. So because the core issue of being able to guard ball handlers was not addressed from 2K20 to 2K21, 2K listened to the community. When the community complained, it said, oh, shooting's too easy. Okay. Lo and behold, 2K21. From 2K20 to 2K21. The community complained. The community got what it asked for. And what happened as soon as the community got what it asked for? Everybody stopped playing the game. People left the game. Because you know what the meta was in 2K21? Play shot. It was play shot, glass cleaner, or paint beast. That's what the meta was. And the game in and of itself became boring and stale. I'll be damned if we start talking about the speed boost glitch and all this kind of stuff and zigzagging behind the three. I'll be damned with all that. Everybody that talked all of that shit in 2K20 about how good they were, about how comp they were, sending all these messages about how they were this and that and blah, 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 with these useless win percentages. From 2K20 to 2K21, it's like they got they got baptized or something. Like it was insane the number of play shots in that game. People that literally played with builds, because remember, the play shot was in 2K20 and it was not the most used build. It was a two-way slashing playmaker. People jumped from two-way slashing playmaker to literally a 6-1 to 6-3 play shot because they wanted to win so bad. And literally, you got the most boring, dry 2K that I've ever seen in my entire life. Boring. Not competitive. Exploit versus exploit to the max. And people sat in there all year and played that game. I did too. I played it. I made a slasher though. So, you know, I still have fun with the game because I could do everything. I could shoot mid-ranges, fades. Well, not with that particular build, but another build that I made, I could shoot fades with it. I could post you up, shoot turnarounds. So the game was much more fun to me because I was able to use all of the tools to my disposal. See, when you make a player and you can literally only do one thing, you're going to get bored. Of course. It's the same way thing with when people make bigs, right? When people make bigs and they get the ball, they don't know what to do with the ball half the time. That's the reason why when you see a big, when they catch the ball, all you really got to do is play the passing lanes because most bigs don't have any moves. You know what their move is? Run to the rim and dunk. Drop, step, and dunk. Get clapped at the rim. That's what they base their skill level off of. So having the versatility, being able to do everything in a game is going to keep the game fresh. Why? Because I can. I don't have to zigzag for three. I can hit you with one move, two moves, get to the mid-range. Now you backing up from the mid-range. All I got to do is fake like I'm going to drive and then do an aggressive step back, and I'm shooting a three now. So now you don't know what I'm going to do. I done dunked it on you twice. I done got two mid-ranges, and I got a three. You have no idea what I'm going to do when I get the ball. That is what makes the game more fun because you have versatility. When you're doing the same thing, the game's going to get boring. So when people complained about this in 2K20 to 2K21, then we got the most boring, dry 2K ever. We got NBA2k22. People complained about not being able to rip ball handlers. Blah, 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 right? We get NBA2k22. And for the first time in a long time, since damn near 2K17, 2K put out a product that everybody was happy with. Not everybody. Majority of people were happy with. I was extremely happy with the game. There was no more dribbling in somebody's face. You could rip that ball. Now, one of the things that I felt like was a little overpowered was when you were running behind somebody, and because you have a high steal rating, you can just rip the ball out of their hand because you're running behind them or whatever. That I felt like was a little out of hand. But in terms of dribbling and getting free, it's not that the game was where the steals were OP. It was for the first time the steals were balanced with the dribbling. If you look at my next gen build, I got an 86 ball handle at 84 speed with ball, a 70 pass accuracy. Do you know what my perimeter defense and my steal are? Perimeter defense 86, steal 86. So realistically speaking, from a numbers standpoint, if I have an 86 steal and you have an 84 ball handle, I should be ripping you. If you do a stupid dribble, I should be ripping you. Because there were so many people that complained and said, I don't want 2K21. I don't want to play like that. I want the game. Because there were so many people that were so used to that meta. Because the meta is, and it's back now in 2K22. That's why I don't even know how it's like possible for somebody to actually really make a living off playing this game. Because look at this shit that we have. Guys, I'm not out here caping for 2K. I'm just being honest with you. This is who we are as a community. We like cheese. The vast majority of the community likes cheese. And then you have the audacity of content creators to get on here and bash the game. When literally a lot of content creators have built their entire communities off of cheese. And you're so short-sighted, you can't see that this is the reason why the game is the way it is. Every year we're going to get broken elements of the game. But when they give us a game that actually matches what it is that we're asking for, and we complain, that is on us, guys. That's on us. Because our complaints change the way that 2K, because 2K is so scared, they want to be able to put out a game that we're going to stay on and the numbers are not going to go down. So they start adjusting things based off of complaints and not off of the fact that whether or not someone is actually, their complaint is actually valid. We got to be honest. Like I said, I've been playing this game for years. I am not the greatest player that has ever played this game. I think maybe that would be poor boy Sin. That's what I think. I'm not the greatest player that ever played this game. There's probably a lot of people out there that's better than me. So guess what? Sometimes I play this game and sometimes I lose. Sometimes I do stupid shit while I'm on the court. A lot of the times I don't. But sometimes I do some stupid shit. If I do stupid stuff and I lose the game, can I blame the game that something is OP? Or was I not paying attention and adjusting during the course of the game? I literally, earlier in the year, I had somebody send me a clip on Twitter, or I think they commented on it. Yeah, they sent me a clip after something that I tweeted off of. And I said to them, dude, you can't be serious. This dude started, okay, there was somebody sitting in the corner. He was in the paint. He was trying to box out, but he was a perimeter lockdown, and there was a big down there, and this was on current gen. The big of the opposing team was also down there. When the ball hit the rim, he was down there trying to box out. He didn't win the box out. The dude grabbed the rebound over him because he's a big. He got the ball over him. Okay. When the dude got the ball from him, got the rebound, this dude kicked the ball to the corner to his teammate that had been standing there the entire time already. This dude ran from underneath the basket all the way out to the three-point line. Do you know what he said? This was a contested shot. How did 2K not let me contest this? How did he make this shot? Guys, this is what I was talking about from the very beginning. 2K is a game based off of basketball. It's a video game, yes. It's still a game based off of basketball. And I've seen many times people on here on Twitter make fun of the trash physics in 2K. Let's keep it real. If this is a game based off basketball, and NBA2k TV is doing all these basketball interviews with different players and all that kind of stuff, then there has to be some core elements of basketball in the game in order for the game to be fair. You get people that don't understand basketball, the game of basketball, that comment on the aspects of the video game, and then they break the game because so many of them are complaining. Because they don't get it. They never played basketball. Playing basketball is not a prerequisite for playing 2K. But when you're getting your ass beat in the game, if it makes basketball sense and you're getting beat, this is why it's happening. You have to have elements of the game that work based off of the video game. And then you have to have elements of the game that work based off of basketball. And you can't take the basketball elements and say, oh, well, this is broken because you were in the wrong position. Basketball is about anticipation. If you're in the paint, there's literally a drill in real life where you start under the basket. Somebody starts at the three-point line. They can be in the corner three or the side three or wherever it is. And you start from under the basket. The coach has someone throw the ball to the three-point line. And it is your job as the defender that's under the basket to run out to contest that shot. And guess what? In NBA 2K, we have NBA players, or supposed to be NBA players. Even in real life with an NBA player, if somebody's running from underneath the basket, that percentage is going to be much higher than somebody that's already underneath the shooter. It just makes sense. But you got people complaining about things that they don't understand. And you got so many people complaining about it without, you don't know what this guy, and that's the thing. He's like, oh, I got a maxed out perimeter defense and blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. But are you taking into account the skill set of this user? Are you taking into account how good his jump shot is? Are you taking into account what his jump shot rating is? What if he had a 99.3 and you don't know that? Do you see where I'm going with this? You've got to, if you're going to enjoy this game and you're not going to say this game is dead, you've got to enjoy both elements of the game. And as a community, we got to stop breaking the video game elements because we do it every year. For all the people that complained about steals being OP, here we go. 2K22.1 or 2K21.2 or 0.5 or whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's 2K21.5. That's what we have right now. And it's thanks to the community and the complaints. A lot of the complaints being based off of just getting your ass kicked. The dribbling issue in the game versus the steals this year was not based off of steals being OP. The steals were strong. They needed to be that strong. They needed to be that strong to stop dribble gods. It wasn't for regular players. Because if you know how to play the game and you just know how to get loose, then it doesn't matter if the steals are high. Because you're playing keep away with your dribble. That's it. You're playing keep away. What's the problem? Because for years you so used to left. Because you so used to that, then when they actually change the game to make it reflect something that is a little bit more spontaneous, something where you really got to think through your moves and know where you're going on the floor before you get there and know what, kind of have an idea of what you want to do before you do it. Because the game was like that at the beginning of the year, now you hate it. Oh, I want to play 2K no more. Oh, I need to make a 5-7 player. Oh, I need to make a 5-10 player. And then when you have people tell you that, oh, you are old head. Oh, you are P. Okay, guys. All right. Cool. I guess, man. We're going to keep getting the shitty game. Going to keep having content creators complain and run the fucking all the other stuff that they do to play. But it's because the community ruins the game. NBA 2k21, we asked for harder shooting. We got it. People stopped playing. There was a year, I think it was 2K19, that might have also been the year of shoving as well, too, I think. Or maybe that was 2K20. Might have been 2K19. But in 2K19, I believe what they did was they got rid of the zigzagging behind the screen. Because if you were zigzagging behind the screen, if you ran into the screener, you could lose the ball. And what happened? 2K patched it out. Why? Because people that were playing screen and roll were mad. This is how it goes, guys. We got to accept this game for what it is. That's why, for me, I wanted to talk about this and I wanted to put this out here. But at the same time, like, I understand what this is. I get it. Which is the reason why, for me, a majority of the content that I'm going to be putting out going forward is just going to be content that is, I'm going to try to make it entertaining. I'm going to try. But I don't care about playing this game seriously. I really don't. You can't play the game seriously because the community doesn't want a serious game. The community wants a game that is more like NBA Street than they do want a game that is more like an understanding of the game of basketball. They want an NBA Street game. That's what they want. They want something along those lines. And 2K was never intended to be that. But here we are. And it's not going back. So you either get with it or get gone. And I'm getting with it. I'll just try to make entertaining gameplay stuff. I'll try that instead. But what I'm doing now, in terms of like even barely putting out content and stuff like that, you got to have a mindset to understand you cannot take this game seriously. You got to get on here and have fun. You can try to teach people how to do stuff in the game. And that's the crazy thing is majority of the people that teach you how to play the game better, they don't even get the most views. Ain't that crazy? So the people that try to teach you, I see Shakedown, LaMonster, people like that every single year come out with stuff to try to teach you the game. And LaMonster, he'll throw some cheesy stuff in there or whatever it is. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, when in Rome, right? But I see these, and it's not just him, all the creators. I'm not just specifically talking about one creator. I'm talking about all the creators that put out good content and try to show you how to get better at the game. And then you have guys that really, really, really focus on only putting out content to help you get better at the game. You know, guys like 2K Lab, Sam Fam, and NBA 2k22s. You got Jay Easy, you got Brutal Sim. Those guys do not sit at the top of the community. No offense to them, but they don't sit at the top of the community in terms of being content creators. Why? Because at the core, we open our mouths on Twitter and even in the context of these parties and stuff, and we say that we want a game like this, but we don't really want that kind of game, guys. We don't. We don't want that kind of game. We think we want that kind of game. And then when we get that kind of game, then we're mad. Then we're upset. Then we're complaining. Then the game gets changed. Meta becomes the new normal. And then here we are again. So you might as well, as a content creator, if you think the game is dead, you might as well just play this game and laugh and try to have fun. If you start taking the game too serious, you might as well just hang it up and go do something else. Because we're not going to get a serious basketball game, which is crazy. Because the NBA 2K League exists where literally people play professionally. And even they don't get as many views as they should. I think they were caught one time view botting or something like that. Because nobody was watching the shit. And that's no knock to anybody that plays professional 2K or whatever it is. That is no knock. But at the end of the day, a majority of the people that are getting the views on YouTube are people that are making content around being creative with the game. Entertaining content. I just told you already, Poor Boy Sin is probably one of the greatest players that has ever played this game. Fuck a park or rec or whatever it is. This dude knows how to play this game. And he doesn't sit at the top. So all the sweaty people that are talking about comp this and comp that, do y'all really care about the comp scene? Or is it more about you being able to flex that little 91% muscle and then message somebody, a fucking casual that hopped in the goddamn stage and just talk shit to him via text? Because that's really what it's more about. It's not about being good at the game. It's not. Because you don't even support the people that are the most compy of comp people out there. If that was the truth, people like Poor Boy, people on that level that have done that, they should have over 100K views, 200, 300K views every fucking video. Every single one. That nigga should be able to drop a video once a day and get 200K views off of every single video. And I don't even know if 200K views is a lot, but I'm just throwing out a number. I'm just saying he should be sitting at the top in terms of 2K content creation. It should never be a fucking Poor Boy Sin video that comes out. If you really care about this compy shit, there should never be a fucking 2K video with Poor Boy Sin where he's talking about something or doing something that gets less than that. Ever. But we show our true colors. We always do. And that's okay. But we got to accept it. And we got to stop saying the game is dead when we kill the game every year. Sorry. We literally build communities to kill the game. We build communities to kill the game. I don't know, man. A majority of the community advocates for making certain areas of the game, aka zigzag cheese for 3, to be easier than other areas of the game. Do you know how many times this year that I've tried to contest a jump shot shooter and literally got a foul called on me compared to when I beat my defender, I'm past him, I'm driving to the basket, and I'm all the way in the middle of a dunk, and I get knocked out of the dunk, and I don't get a foul call? This is not because 2K is broken. This is not because 2K doesn't listen. This is not because they hate us and they don't want to listen to us and they don't want to give us a good game. This is what we ask for. I think the dunk meter is a good idea. I really do. I don't like how it's implemented, but I think the dunk meter is a great idea. At the same time, this is the first year in 2K where it's harder to lay up the ball or dunk the ball than it is to be able to zigzag behind the screen and shoot a 3. Think about that. It's harder to time a dunk than it is to shoot the 3 after zigzagging left and right with a 5'10" player. And because of that, it's even harder to grab alley-oops. And because of that, nobody throws oops. Go out there and play the game on next gen with random teammates. Ain't nobody throwing no oops. They scared to turn the ball over. Hardly anybody goes to the rim. They just did an update recently that allows you to be able to get more contact dunks with the stick without having to do the aggressive contact dunk. They just updated that. But before that, nobody was really going to the basket like that. Guys, we have to accept this is what we ask for as a community. It is what we ask for. It is. Look at the comments on Twitter. Look at the comments that were made well before they even put any of these patches into the game. I can't dribble. Steals is OP. Da 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 da. Okay. Let's talk about steals is OP real quick before I end this podcast. Okay. 100% they were OP in the passing lanes. Also, too, just to note, there was one point in time in NBA 2K where literally people would be playing the game, and if you were mashing on X, like trying to steal a ball, and the ball was nowhere near you, you would get a knockdown in your teammate grade to the point where you could grade out from it. What happened? The community complained, and that got patched out of the game, and we no longer have it. Look at the twos courts. For all the content creators that play on the twos and make great money off of playing off twos. Traditionally, when you're playing basketball, even if it's 2-on-2 or if it's 1-on-1, it's no make it, take it. That's traditional. Make it, take it, not really. I mean, yeah, I played that way a little bit growing up, but not as much. It was always no make it, take it. If you scored, the other person got the ball. That's the way it's supposed to go. And the community complained about losing twos games because the other team would be able to get the ball. And what ended up happening? Now you can't get the ball on twos. If one team scores, they keep getting the ball back over and over. So that's how you get 22 zipped. You don't even get to touch the damn ball. This is what we asked for, guys. And that's fine. It's not a big deal. But all the stuff about saying is 2K22 dead, guys, if it's dead, we killed it. If you got season rewards in the game this year, people get on this game, and this is something that really needs to be said right the fuck now, because this is ridiculous. People get on this game, already make money off the game. However much money they make off the game, whatever it is, whether it's $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, upwards of that, or whatever. I don't know. I don't make no money off the game. I don't make no money off of sitting up here talking about this shit for an hour or whatever it is. Not right now, at least. People get on this game, make money off the game. This is their job, their full-time career, entrepreneurship career. This is what they're doing right now, currently. Get to level 40 in 2 days by zigzagging and cheesing the fucking game and getting games back to back because they have a presence in the community. And say to the rest of the community, it's too easy to get there. We don't even man. Guys, the game's not dead. If you love basketball, if you love video games, play the game, try to enjoy the game. I know it's really frustrating right now because every build that you made with a decent amount of steel on it or whatever it is, you can't even use it anymore, really, like that. No matter what your pickpocket is on or whatever. Interceptor's still a little wacky, but hey, it is what it is. Play the game if you love basketball and if you love video games. Try to have fun. If the shit's pissing you off, just play something else. You can try to voice your opinion on Twitter. The opinions of the people that want this game to be zigzag meta, they've already gotten their way. So I doubt, at this point, resistance is damn near futile. But this is what we're dealing with. I got Grand Theft Auto Vice City in the background right now. I'm probably not gonna hit legend this year in 2K. I just don't have. I mean, I haven't had the time. I work and this and that or whatever. So I'm at like level 33 on this season. I could reach it if I wanted to, but I don't really care. You know, the badge points would be nice. I don't really give a damn. I don't really care. But I'm saying all that for you to understand. Play the game and have fun, man. Play the game and have fun. This is so much. This game is so much better than 2K21. Even with the BS meta that the community begged for to get patched into the game by saying steals was OP. Interceptor, yeah, I can ride with you on that one. Pickpocket at times, but we're not taking into account what the defense is doing. If you got this little fucker on you, right? So for instance, like I said, I'm 6'6", minimum weight, which I shouldn't have to be in order to be able to have a good player, but that's a whole nother conversation. 6'6" minimum weight, right? 6'10" wingspan, 86 ball handle, 84 speed with ball. At the beginning of the year, when I realized that people don't do nothing but match X, I just run away from them. That's their strategy because that's what they want to do. They don't want to play the game and have fun playing the game. They want to play the game and they want to win, and they don't give a damn how it happens. So if they're spamming steal, just run the hell away from them. That's what I did, and I won a lot of games that way. But what do I know? I'm just a person that don't make no money off the game yet. So should I even be talking about this? Do I even have the qualifications? I mean, I don't think that making money off the game is the only thing that qualifies you to be able to talk about this game, especially if you've been playing it for years. But, hey, you know, to each his own. And also, too, I just want to say this, and I'm going to end it. If you ever played 2K14, you'd feel differently about the concept of steals in 2K22. Because in 2K14, it was bump steals galore. You better not dribble that goddamn ball too close to anybody. Bing! We off to the races. Fast break dunk with nobody's chasing it down. You had to in 2K, and that's the thing too, because I gotta address this before I get off. 2K22, you know how many big men catch guards on the fast break? You know how many times you go to the rim and dunk the ball and don't get a foul? Shit's ridiculous, man. You got big men catching guards on the fast break. We didn't complain about that. We complained about getting the ball stolen. Because they don't care about what makes sense in the context of a normal basket, in the context of basketball and what should happen in a basketball video game. If I'm faster than you and I'm running a break and I stole the ball to get on the break, if you don't have the speed to catch up with me, I don't give a damn about no badge. First of all, I got the advantage because I just stole the ball from the passing lane. All in one stride, and I'm going this way. How in the hell do you start off after me, and because you got a stupid fucking badge on, you catch me? That's not how that's supposed to work. The badge, if you want to make it fair, the badge is supposed to activate if I steal a ball and you're close to me in proximity when I steal it. And I'm not talking about the person that the ball got stolen from in the passing lane. I'm talking about the secondary person. Because if the ball gets stolen from you in the passing lane, right, and you're standing still, of course you're not going to have a head start to be able to beat that person to the basket or to try to chase them down. It just doesn't make sense. That's the whole point of catching the ball in one stride and taking off and running. But the other person, there's no way that this person catches them. You got to already be anticipating that the ball is going to get stolen out of the passing lane and be close enough to this defender. Close enough to this offensive person for this badge to even activate. At least that's the way it should be. But it's not. So you got bigs clapping dunks on the fast break. And nobody, people complain about it, but not nearly as much as I can't dribble. So we got what we got. And it is what it is. I don't think that the game is dead. I still enjoy the game, even though the zigzag left-right shit is in the game, which is funny. All the people that complained about steals and buff unpluckable and this and that, all of those people that complained about that, they got it. And now the zigzag is in the game. And you know what they're saying? oh, why is this zigzag in the game? They've been making this game for 20 years. Yes, on-ball defense should be better at this point. We've been dealing with the same thing for year after year after year. That's why the steals were where they were. And majority of people that was getting ripped was dribbling back to the ball handler because you've been allowed to get away with it for years. But they don't want to hear that. Yes, on-ball defense should have been better. Contact with other players should have been better on all-ball defense. Yes, I get it. But when the on-ball steals were the way they were at the beginning of the year, that was not an issue. And a majority of people did not have. If I got an 86 perimeter steal, or even if I got an 86 ball handle and you got a 90-something steal, yeah, if I dribble back to you and they time it correctly, they should get the ball. That's what the 90-something steal is for. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. So it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. This was not supposed to be a podcast. It was supposed to be a 10-minute video. But hey, we talking, baby. We're going to do the podcast. I'm going to talk about different concepts and stuff like that. And if nobody watches it, I hope people do watch it. And I hope people do enjoy it. You know, if you're at school or work or whatever it is, I hope people do enjoy it. But at the same time, I think it's a good way for me to kind of have something to go back and listen to kind of commemorate these different moments where I played 2K and people try to twist the narrative of what the game has been all these years, because they really try to twist it. They really do. But it is what it is, man. Hope you enjoyed the video. Everybody stay safe out there. And until next time, take it easy.